Okay, and can we not forget why Andrew Tate said he chose Romania to live in? Can we not forget the reason why he chose Romania? He chose Romania because he said that the laws were slacker there. That if a woman wanted to charge you with for harassment or anything there, a man has a better chance to get off. That's why he chose that country. Did we forget that? Did we forget that? All right. Destiny debates Just Pearly Things on Andrew Tate. And I can tell you now, this video, for the little bit that I watched, made me angry. I'm not gonna lie to you. So we're gonna push the microphone a little bit further from me. Okay, so we don't break the new microphone. This, oh my God, this video. All right, let's go.
I do want to address the face of this toxic masculinity these days, which is none other than our friend Andrew Tate.
We're gonna blame the men for your poor decision? You picked to do it.
That's great that you feel that way, but it's still sex trafficking. Your personal feelings don't matter.
They weren't complaining about the money.
But he was actively stealing from them.
Yes.
It's not actively.
He literally said, when you're filling out these dumb women's tax forms, you can lie to them about the tax forms and take 20-40% off the top.
That is where I think you were right.
I'm not asking about what the punishment should be for the women. They probably punished enough, I imagine, if they worked and had money stolen from them. What we're talking about was what Andrew Tate did, which is sex trafficking, right? There are probably women that make bad decisions.
Allegedly.
Why is it wrong if they
not
freely chose to do it?
Why is it wrong if I get somebody in a relationship with me and then I'm able to flip that into them working as a prostitute for me?
For some reason, I'm like obsessed with this straw man argument thing because you've used it a few times.
This is literally
Hear me
what
out,
about,
bro. So there's this term like toxic masculinity these days, which I think is just an absurd term. I think it's a great term.
Masculine traits,
So I don't think I think there's just toxic people. I think there's toxic women that you should stay the hell away from. I think there's toxic men who are idiots and cavemen. You should stay away from them. I think it's an unfair label.
There are traits.
Okay, I think people have a tendency to misuse that label. But I think the label is very true. I believe Andrew Tate is one that perpetuates that label very well. Just say it. Sneako's another one. You know? Now, do I think people use that label unjustly at times? Absolutely. That's with anything. You know? That's with anything. But I think the label, and there's toxic women too. Oh yes, there's toxic women too. There's a lot of toxic women out there. Just saying. Women are not the princesses of the world. Believe me. We see a bunch of them here on the internet.
Traits that are unique to men that get toxically exemplified, no?
Such as?
Like the ability to never show any emotion ever and to be a stoic person that keeps it all inside and like never...
There's a lot of benefits to being a stoic though.
Not a healthy stoic that processes and doesn't repress everything.
Yes.
But like you should be able to have I think that not being able to have a conversation relating to your emotions, I think is a huge sign of insecurity and weakness.
Yeah, but there's a difference between having emotions and being a human and being an emotional man. There's a big difference.
Is like, you guys don't believe... Why do you bring this up? Like, you will... Okay, every time... Okay, you might not believe this. I'll give you a little bit of credit, okay? And I don't think Alex does. I don't know about you. Okay, people will do this where they'll be like, oh no, when we say like don't be overly emotional, what we mean is like don't cry all the time and blah, 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 blah. If that's all you were saying, I'd be cool with that. But a lot of these people here are like, if you ever show any vulnerability to your woman ever, she'll leave you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like...
It's true what?
Like Fresh and Fit says that all the time.
Yeah, and that Hamas guy who wears the robes all the time, or whatever
Yeah, I don't know who it says what, but the message that I've generally understood is that it's kind of like you just don't know. Every woman's different, and how much emotion that she's willing to like put up with differs on the women. So a lot of guys just say it's easier just to not.
I think Destiny actually makes a very valid point here, to be honest with you. There's a fine line. So I like always using a one.
Nothing wrong with an emotional man. There's nothing wrong with it. Because you know what? There's emotional women. There's also women who don't like to show emotion. There's nothing wrong with emotional human beings. Oh my God. This that you have to hold it in and not say anything, it's bull.
1 through 10 scale, right? 10 is being like showing no emotion whatsoever. I will never be vulnerable with my girl. And 1 is being a crying baby. I don't think you should be either. I think you should find a balance. I think appropriate balance is probably being an 8. Being a man, but also having some emotion.
Okay, what is this being a man, but also having emotion? That's like saying a man can't have emotion. There is no such thing as be a man, but have some emotion. No, that's not how that works. I mean, exactly, JC. Just be yourself. Exactly.
Do you understand? Do you see what I'm saying here?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but like the number is meaningless. That's going to be different things for different people. Like an 8 for some person might be like, the only time I'm going to cry is if both my parents die within 12 hours.
No,
of each other, right?
no.
Or some people might be like an 8 is like, I had a bad day at work, I'm going to bed a little bit. Like, it just
I actually think a 1 through 10 is very fair.
All I know is the men that I respect the most in my life, I've barely ever seen cry. So,
I think that a healthier engagement with
That's half her fucking problem.
the question is, I'm going to go back to the thing we said before. I think the confidence is the thing that underpins all of it, right? If I'm upset and you see me upset, and I'm not playing League of Legends, it's because some serious shit happened, right? It's supposed to be like the archetype of like dad is crying. That means something really bad happened.
I
Some crazy
agree,
shit happened, right?
I agree.
So like, yeah, like I think it's okay to get emotional over things, but as long as it's something like serious happened. And I think it's better to be able to show that and share that with your partner than to like keep it all bottled up. But like if you come home and you're like crying because you had like a bad interaction with a customer, yeah, of course. But again, the problem there isn't whether you're emotional or too emotional. It's like it's a lack of like confidence that is like showing like an emotional instability, I think, which is the problem.
I think it's ultimately because we talked about the people that are saying they should never cry, you should never do anything like that. I think it's just a backlash to basically what's been happening in society, this feminization of men, and men aren't being real men anymore. There is stats out there that show like how men were more manly World War II serving your country versus men out there. It's like,
Yes, and back in those days, women, until World War II, actually, women were expected to stay home and not work and not make their own money. It wasn't until 1986 that women weren't allowed to get credit cards without their husband's permission. So let's talk about back then where men were men. That's when women, they looked at women as being more women because, well, women were basically property. I mean, can we be for real for a moment? There has got to be a balance out there, and I think both sides take it too fucking far sometimes. You know? Seriously, I think both sides take it too far.
there's guys that, you know, grandpa died or like almost gave his life up in World War II, and you're crying over a video game because you got shot and killed. But there is this like coddling of young men today where it's like the term man up. They used to be like, yo, man up. Now that's like, you get in trouble
Yeah, but you
for
can't-
telling
I
someone to
can't- you can't
man
take
up.
I just think as women, like, we're looking for someone that stays strong when it hits the fan.
Exactly.
And it's not to say that you can never, ever show any ounce of emotion, but I just think, in general, it's better to err on the side of caution.
I think we have to recognize that where we were before was unacceptable. Where we were 20 years ago was not acceptable. Where men are killing themselves at, what, 3, 4, 5 times the rate of women? Where men are too scared to seek help for, like, psychiatric problems, where men leave the military, and they
Has
go...
the suicide rate gone down since, I don't actually know. Has it gone down since like
It's gone
100,
down a
100
little bit,
years
but
ago?
still
Yeah, I think it's still higher for men. But I'm
No,
saying,
no,
like,
I'm
the
saying,
highest
no,
in
I
the
meant
80s.
like, so if, like, let's say 1
70s.
out of every 100 men committed suicide 100 years ago, is it 2 today? Is it 0.5 today?
It's
I
way
just,
more
I
than
just
it
don't
was
know.
100 years ago.
There's
So
more
why
men
is that?
committing suicide
Why
today.
are men struggling and committing
Oh.
suicide more than ever now? Is that
So-
what you're saying?
No, I'm asking the question. I don't
but
actually
you said,
know.
are those the stats?
I believe it. I looked at this at what debate I did. I think it was like in the 70s. It was like we hit a crescendo with like the most amount of male suicides, and then it's gone down a little bit, but now it's rising again.
So is that, by the way, is there, we don't have the answers here, but is it younger men?
No, I
I
think
didn't
it's
look- I didn't
normally
look at the ages.
it's people always think it's teens that are killing themselves, but I don't think that's the
I
case.
guess
The biggest
45?
the
Yeah,
bracket is around
45.
45.
Yeah.
I think it's when people are leaving, you get kind of lonely, you get disconnected from the world, and then you're kind of like.
So
down that point.
I have 3 things that are coming to mind here.
Wait, before you have
Yeah.
3 things, I just want to say before
Yeah.
that, like, if we're gonna do like male advice or male empowerment, like. I don't even use the term because I know it triggers the f out of everybody. But like, we have to be able to talk about some concepts related to toxic masculinity that keep men down. And one of those is the inability to process emotions. I'm not saying you got to go around and be like, and I admit,
Can I have an example of what that means?
as in, like, when you, like, here's an example, okay? Men cannot have conversations about their emotions ever, okay? If a girl goes out with a guy and she comes back and she's talking to her friends, right? Oh my God, I met this guy, he was super cool, he's a blah, blah, blah. Like, a guy will go out, meet the woman of his dreams, go home to his friends, everybody's like, oh, how was it? And the guy's like, cool. And that's all he says, ever,
Okay.
right? This is why, like,
Is there something wrong with that?
Yes.
Oh, why?
It's so toxic because men friendships suck. We get so little out of friendships, and I think it's one of the reasons why men are so
That's because men are always taught not to show their emotions. Listen, when you have a partner, and I don't care how the partner is made up, whether it's same sex, opposite sex, whatever. I don't care how the partnership is made up. When you have a partnership with someone, okay, they are your ride or die. That is supposed to be your best friend. If you cannot show your emotions to your best friend, there is something wrong. I'm just saying. There is something wrong. Your partner is supposed to be your best friend. You are supposed to be able to go to that person for absolutely anything. You are supposed to be able to tell that person absolutely anything, that you don't hide shit from them. You are supposed to be able to tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you can't do that, then there's something wrong with your relationship. Period. This whole, I don't want a man to not show emotion. No, if he's upset, I want to see. And guess what? Being angry and being upset is an emotion. That's an emotion. So if you're allowed to show anger and being upset, well, then you also should be allowed to show sadness, happiness. You're supposed to be able to come home and tell me how bad your day at work was and how frustrated you are. You're supposed to tell me you saw a cute little puppy on the side of the road and it was really cute and it was like, get all cutesy-oosy with it. I don't care. But you're supposed to be able to do all that. It's crazy.
Desperate for relationships with women, and I think it also ties into so many other things. So one of the reasons why I hear women will complain that when they go on first dates with guys, they feel like they're their therapist or their moms, and I think oftentimes because guys have nobody that they talk to in their lives about anything. I think it's why the breakups.
What guys are they dating?
No,
This is so common. This is so common.
Really
Or it's another big reason is why, like, whenever you see like breakups happen, I've heard a lot of Red Pill guys says women always get so much credit when there's a breakup, and guys always get shit on, like they're always blamed. If there's like cheating going on, women get so much more leeway than men. It's because when women have problems in their relationships, they're telling all their girlfriends about it, like, oh, my boyfriend does this, my husband does this, and all like it. So when something happens, yeah, they're way more ready to like side with their girlfriend. For guys, again, like the woman might, be like cutting his tires every day before he goes to work, and guys are like, oh, how's everything going at home? You're like, it's okay, and that's like all they say. Like our relationships are really, really, really bad. The way we communicate with each other is really, really, really bad.
I'll use our friend Dave Chappelle as an example here of a story that he told, and I'll give you my feedback. He says that like basically men are just like black and white, more rational. Women are so emotional. Where it's like he did this whole big.
Oh my God, I hate that that is such a trope. I fucking hate that. That is such a trope, dude. You know the sad thing is even though they don't show it outwardly, men are a load more emotional than what they let on. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we need to stop this bullshit that they're not allowed to show their emotions, because that's very unhealthy with them. Hello, suicide rates. There's nothing wrong with them showing emotions, and we need to stop this bullshit of telling them that they're wrong. That's one of those societal things that they put on everybody.
Big stand up. It's like, she's like, so what happened? I met Dave, went to the park, punched a guy in the face, that's it, I'm out. That's a man's story. Where the woman's story was like, well, you have to understand that I was on my period that day, and she said something really wrong to me, and then what happened is I was feeling a triggered way, and then what happened was that then Sheila walked in, and it's like, Jesus, it's so I just want to know what happened. So there's two conflicting ideologies and like how men and women operate. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and that's just how men operate. So women, they're always going to be more emotional. It's not about the actual facts of the story. It's going to be how they felt and how you made them feel and whatever. Like, anyway. But as far as men,
I hate this dude. The fact is, you're a dick. That's a fact. You're a dick.
and go, I don't know. I can only say what I know. I have homies that I've been friends with forever. I could say everything I want to them up to an extent. Because as a man, you can give your boys maybe 80 or 90% of the story, and there's maybe like 10% of it you'll leave out.
I bet
because
you
you don't
do,
want to
Matt
go
Pitt.
like you don't want to reveal too much to the dude. So I actually agree with what you're saying to an extent. Meaning, if I had an issue and I was some girl I was seeing, I'd be like, yeah, so we went on this date, it's not whatever, and I would be like, we would have the surface level conversation just to get it off your chest. But maybe there's a little like, below the iceberg type of thing that you won't reveal. So I don't know if I buy the notion.
That matters.
Well, right. But I don't know if I buy the notion that men have no friends and they have no one to talk to. I would highly encourage men to have friends that they should talk to.
Absolutely.
100%.
It's not every man. There's some men who do. I also have really good friends I can talk to, but there's a lot of dudes who, like Destiny is right. Like when they show up on a date, it is like a therapy session because they've been withholding their emotions for so long, and then there's just finally someone, and they spend 2 hours just like complaining to the girl. Yeah.
That's the worst thing a guy could ever do.
I know, but
is that you bottle up all your emotions, you don't talk to your boys, and you're gonna go fucking blow it on a date with a girl when you should be asking questions.
But the reason
you
is because
moron, shut up and ask questions. Now's not the time to be emotional in some girl you just met.
Right, but the reason is because he has no one he can share it with.
Find a friend, homie.
But part of the emotions is not just being like emotional like a woman and crying. Like there's also anger. That's an emotion that men tend to have as well. And if they
Thank you. Somebody finally said it.
don't know how to handle that and maintain that, then that leads to them lashing out, making decisions out of being at a high emotion and not knowing how to control it. So I do think it is important that men do learn how to master all of the emotions, not just when you're sad or when you're happy, but also when you're angry, because a lot of times men will be in positions with high pressure. And if they don't know how to manage that emotional time, that they could turn into a completely different direction of where they were trying to go. So I think men expressing their emotion, there is a time and a place for it. Now, do I think they should be crying all the time? No, absolutely not. But I think there is strength in a man who knows how to handle all of his emotions, because it's reliable. You know, as a woman, you're like, okay, he's upset. He knows how to be upset and recover. He's angry. He knows how to be angry and recover. So I think there is importance in men.
Matt, I have a question.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to the Andrew Tate part. Oh, wasn't that far ahead. All right.
Andrew Tate. Now, I'm a fan. I'm a friend. I think he's been sold a bill of goods. We'll see what happens here. The latest news. I saw your episode that you did the other day with
where we covered his how to traffic women guide.
So this whole lover boy method thing was where you can make women fall in love with you, which is not easy to do, by the way. But you make women fall in love with you, and then you coerce them into sex trafficking. The charges, I guess, against him now are suspicion of human trafficking, sex trafficking, potentially rape, doubt that, forming an organizing crime group, and then the easiest ones, well, they'll always get you if they want to get you, are money laundering and tax evasion. That's how they get Capone. That's how they get all these guys, okay? I guess the latest news is he's been detained for an additional 30 days in Romanian prison. I really enjoyed that breakdown you did with the Romanian attorney, basically breaking down the case. You did that, and then Sneeko came on.
Yeah. You know he automatically put doubt that. Like, how do you know? Are you there? Were you there with him? How do you know? You don't know.
And I don't know, kind of said his case.
Yeah.
What was that?
What Sneeko was doing to Andrew Tate.
What was Sneeko doing?
Slurping up.
Oh, wow. Just slurping
All
up.
you guys do. You guys suck him off so hard.
No, I've called out Tate on a few things.
Okay. All right.
So there's people in the chat
True,
like,
they
Adam said one.
They suck his proverbial dick. You're not wrong, Destiny. That's all they do is suck his dick.
Bad thing about Tate, he should go to hell now. It's like, relax, dude. But you interviewed Tate recently. I think you were the last interview of Tate before he went to jail. Okay, so I want to get the panel's basically take on A, what are your thoughts on Tate? Do you think these charges are trumped up? Do you think he's actually going to be seeing real legitimate jail time here? And what will the final outcome be?
So,
you want to go first, ladies?
Well, I don't know all the facts of the case, I'd like to say. So from what I understand, could you explain more about like?
Well, let's let the man who just did a breakdown.
I don't know.
So Andrew Tate is being accused of essentially he gets women into this like mind state where they're very much into him, and I think his goal is to get that woman to a dinner with another woman that works for him. He gets that woman to convince the other woman that is like in love with him to like start camming and doing sex work, and I think he flies him out to
Wait, who else did that? But with girls? Didn't Epstein do that? Didn't what was her name? Maxine, whatever her name was. Didn't she do that? Wasn't she like the collector of the girls? He had a collector of girls too. I mean, I'm just saying. But his were women. His that we know of were grown women. So, yeah. Okay.
they were doing their business in Romania.
Maxine,
he basically has like this like cam girl sweatshop set up in their basement where he's got all these women working, and then he just kind of like keeps them strung along that way, like doing camming shit, defrauding them on their taxes and stealing money from them, and then doing that indefinitely. And then there's also some of the charges I think accused of threats of physical and emotional abuse, I think as well. And then there was that one threat of, or there was the rape thing too. But I don't know if that was accused to Andrew or if it just said that was about the 4 people. So it might not have been Andrew himself that was accused of that.
But the whole thing is like, he said all of this on camera loudly and proudly, meaning here is my business model. As case example, you're a pretty girl, you want to make some money, you're doing OnlyFans, you're doing all types of video chatting things anyway, okay? Come with me and you can make $10,000 a month.
No, there's one flaw. He's going for new girls.
Yeah, they weren't girls in the industry.
Okay, all right. So he's recruiting. You have existing salespeople and you have new salespeople. That's how businesses work. I'm just boiling it down to the
Oh my God, I hate this guy so much.
basic.
Can I
Hear me out. Before everyone jumps in, you can make $10,000 a month in my business model, but I keep half. Or you can attempt to do it yourself and you can make $2,000 a month and you can do it and you keep 100%. Here are your options. And that's the way that he's broken it down.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, that means Andrew Tate is a pimp. He is a pimp. Now, he might be a little bit better of a pimp when he's taking 50%. But as you find out later about how he did his taxes, he took more than 50%. But Andrew Tate was a pimp. That's what pimps do. And drama alert can kiss for saying that Tate is innocent. Stop hating on men for being men. Drama alert, please. I just got back to streaming. I really would hate to get into a voice call with you and cuss out right now. I'm just saying. Because you know I will. I will cuss your ass out in front of everybody. Not care. What's up? What's up, Keenstar?
Down on camera multiple times. So he says, I've seen it consistently. Go out and try to do it on your own. You make less money. Come to me. You'll make more, but I'm also going to make some money. And that's how he made his money, and that's his business model.
The video
Whether
wasn't
he was doing tax evasion, money laundering, coercion, that's another story. But he's been very open of that's what the business model was.
He was open about how he was stealing their money too. Hello? It's oh my God, it's so amazing to me when people can have their eyes open on one part, but they just conveniently close their eyes and their ears at the other part. He literally told people how he was stealing their money through taxes because the girls were dumb. Literally.
Business model, he wasn't selling it. Or sorry, you want to talk about it?
No, I just had a question about. So were the girls free to leave the whole time?
That's, I think, a contentious point. I think there were logs leaked where there was talk of passport holding, and that's where the threat of physical and emotional violence come in. But I would have to see what the actual accusations were.
And the accusations, what did they accuse him of? You said
human
rape.
trafficking.
No, rape. It was emotional. You said something.
So there were 4 people that I don't know if there's been a new press release, but the
Okay.
Romania document announced 4 people. Andrew Tate being one of them. Of those 4 people, one
Tristan
of them
Tate,
was
his
accused
brother.
of rape. There was create a criminal organization. There was sex trafficking, and then there was the money laundering. But I don't think it's specifically who was charged with what. That's my memory of it.
Here's what I'll say. And this is totally my opinion. Totally my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Andrew Tate had 100 girls working for him. Let's just say. And 99 of them were free to leave, all good, do whatever you want, no issues whatsoever. And then there was this one girl who had issues. She threw up in the house and wouldn't clean it up. I think Sneeko brought up this example.
Yeah, that's
right?
what Andrew Tate's friend Sneeko said.
Whatever.
Yes.
I'm just saying. I'm giving. I
that's
wasn't
fine.
there. I'm not here to clean up the vomit.
No, that's fine.
I'm just saying. I can see how this slippery slope happens. There's this one girl. 99 of the other girls are fine. They're making their money. Whatever. Again, this is my opinion. This one girl does something wrong, throws up, disrespects, whatever it was. Now there's an issue with this one girl. And they're going to take this issue with this one girl that he held her passport or he wronged her or he physically harassed her because this one girl was acting up. So now you want to take this one case and paint this broad brush around this dude.
Wait a minute. I'm going to stop him here. Doesn't it only take one? It only takes one. That's it. It only takes one that you did it to. You don't have to do it to all of the 100. It only takes one that you did it to. Like, what?
Dude, that he's just raping and pillaging women galore. And that to me is, I think, unfair.
Okay,
because
hold on.
I don't
Wait,
think
but you
that's
don't-
what he
you
was
don't even
doing.
know first of all,
Again,
we already
I
know-
said that is my opinion.
Sure. If
Your
he's
opinion
doing
sucks.
what he said he did in his videos, he is a sex trafficker. Full stop.
Like what?
He says that he gets girls to fall in love with him.
Yep.
He says that he brings them to a dinner with another girl that's working for him with the express intent of that girl to convince this girl.
Wait, but did she freely choose to do it?
It-
I just don't. I'm sorry. If I'm thinking, okay, I'm putting myself in these girls' shoes. I get a boyfriend, right? And the boyfriend convinces me to do cam work. That was my decision.
That's
that
great
was
that you
my
think that.
decision.
That's cool.
Personal decisions,
I
personal
just feel like I'm
responsibility.
so
That's great that you
tired.
think that.
Can you not cut me
It's
off?
sex
Can you
tra-
not cut me off? Like, I'm just tired of.
You don't even know the story of what's going on. Like, why are you even there? You don't even know the story that's going on. I didn't know the story. That means you just talk out of your ass anyway. Oh my God.
You're gonna blame the men for your poor decision? You picked to do it.
That's great that you feel that way, but it's still sex trafficking. Your personal feelings don't matter. That's
By the
still
way,
sex
you're a
trafficking.
European girl living in the former USSR. You have no other job options, and you're hot and you're young.
Sure, or
Boom.
oftentimes-
Time to start doing
And
sex
they
probation.
weren't complaining about the money. They weren't complaining about the money.
But he was actively stealing from them.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
he admits
It's not
that.
actively
He does admit
stealing.
that.
Literally
Yes.
said, when you're filling out these dumb women's tax forms, you can lie to them about the tax forms and take 20-40% off the
Boom.
tax.
That is
Literally
where
said that.
I think you were.
And that's on top of the 50% that he was already taking from them. So if he took another 40%, he's taking like 90% of their shit. Like what?
Right.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
where I think you were
But
right.
even
Hear me out. That is where I think they will get him.
Yeah.
No,
Because
even hold on. No. Even I think discovered at that point, even if they willingly just all the time, it's still sex trafficking. If I fly to another country, bring you to a country, you don't speak the language, lock you in a basement, and then tell you like, hey, stream it, I'll cut you.
not a
That's
lawyer,
sex trafficking.
but for me, that's definition-wise, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I don't know.
That's great.
That to me is not sex trafficking.
That's fine.
Because I agree with Pearl. These women knew what they were doing. They knew what they were signing up for. They were free to leave. He wasn't holding their passports. But if he was skimming money off the top with taxes, that's what they'll get.
So these are the two stages, and I agree that that's what you're going to say, because I know that's what all the Tate fans are going to say. First, they're going to say he didn't do it, and then when they said he did do it, and it's obviously clearly sex trafficking, then it's going to be, oh, okay, well, sure, he's sex trafficking, but it's okay. That's not even like real sex trafficking, or who cares about sex trafficking? They chose to go to another country where they didn't speak the language. He was stealing money from them, and they were locked in for the first time ever doing sex
So
trafficking.
I have a question. So I don't know anything about the Romanian legal system. I don't know the definition of that. Okay, I'm not going to pretend.
You don't have
I'm sorry.
a major
Sex
in
trafficking
Romanian
is
law?
pretty international. It's an international thing.
I don't know. I don't study sex trafficking.
Okay.
It's not my area of expertise. But my question is, what is incorrect about that statement? Do you not think the women should take accountability for the choices that they made?
They should, but that's besides the point.
You can take accountability. I'm not asking about what the punishment should be for the women. They probably were punished enough. I imagine if they worked and had money stolen from them. What we're talking about was what Andrew Tate did, which is sex trafficking, right? There are probably women that make bad decisions.
Allegedly.
What's sex trafficking?
Allegedly.
Why
Let's
is
just
it
be clear about
wrong
that.
if they
It's not
freely chose to do
proven.
it?
Why is it wrong if I get somebody in a relationship with me and then I'm able to flip that into them working as a prostitute for me?
Guess who else does that kind of pimp sue? That's what a pimp does. Old school, that's what a pimp does. When you see a hoe on the corner selling her and she has a pimp, guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that pimp got her in that position through a relationship. It's what pimps do. Joe Mega for $4.99. Build 1,000 bridges, traffic 1 person. You're not a bridge builder, you're a trafficker. 100% Joe Mega. And Leon's like, and this is why I don't like pearly things. Me either. I don't even know why she's in this conversation, because she's... Okay, look, Miss Pearly Things. All right, let's talk serious for a second. Ma'am, if you are trying to put yourself out, like, I mean, you're a pretty woman. You know, I'm not going to joke on looks or anything. You're a pretty woman. But what do you talk about? And if you don't talk about any of this, then why are you even on this panel? Like, why are you there? You obviously don't know what the you're talking about. You sound dumb. You sound extremely dumb. Just saying. The pick me is strong with this one. Yeah, it is. That's why I don't like her. Yeah, Destiny, he lost a bet. Oh, it was some kind of bet or something on his channel. And, like, if he hit a goal or something, I don't know. It was something. And he would dye his hair blue. So it was based off of a bet or some kind of challenge or something on his channel or something like that.
You freely chose to do it. I just think there's nobody. I couldn't date a single guy that could make me want to do that.
That's great for you, but this isn't about you. This story isn't about you.
I'm saying.
Not everybody is made the same. Oh my God. She irritates me. Just to let y'all know, she irritates the hell out of me. Just saying.
Love how passionate you are and the words you use, but like, we have to be careful. These aren't prostitutes. They're hear me out.
Sex workers.
They're on camera.
She's the definition of a person who's meant to just look pretty but should never be allowed to speak. Oh my God, Spectre for $4.99. I mean, no, let her speak. I mean, but my God, at least just because she interviewed Andrew Tate last, obviously she has no fucking insight on him. Jesus, all she keeps doing is, what does that mean? What is that? What is his charges? You just Okay. You know what? I'm not going to rant. We're going to continue.
Doing cam girl shit. At any point, they can turn off their camera. At any point, they can say, I don't feel like it today. But they're doing it to make money. This is a job, so they can make money.
OnlyFans.
Now, OnlyFans, hello.
Except they're in another country where they don't speak the language.
What do you mean they don't speak the language?
This
They're
is like
in
saying
Europe.
anybody at any time.
He said, what do you mean? Wait. No. What did he just say?
Another country where they don't speak the language.
What do you mean they don't speak the language?
This
They're
is like
in
saying
Europe.
anybody.
Wait, so all of Europe speaks the same language, you dumb Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. He was like, what do you mean they don't speak the language? They're in Europe. So every European speaks the same language, folks. We just found out here. Every person in Europe speaks the same fucking language. Just to let y'all know. They speak the same language. Yes, Eva, America. Oh my God. Oh, gee, God, what the? Oh, you idiot. Oh, God. Oh, dear Lord Jesus.
At any time could go and buy and sell the right option, the right puts or calls to be a billionaire. That's true. But the hard part is making the picks, right? If you're flown to a whole other fucking country, you've got some dude that you think is your boyfriend that's in love with you, and now you're doing sex work for the first time in your life. You don't speak the language around here. The guy's stealing money from you. Who knows if you even know how to fucking
I'm sorry,
book a ticket
unless
out.
these girls are beyond naive. If they
Sure,
see
and that's
99 other
fine.
girls there,
Okay, cool.
they don't think this is my boyfriend and he loves me.
That's great, and
he's
that's
like,
fine.
now I'm a part of a harem.
There's literally a name for the
Okay, now, did you see what that guy just did? You see what that guy just said? Let's listen to what he just said.
The guy's stealing money from you. Who knows if you even know how to fucking
I'm
book a
sorry,
ticket
unless
out.
these girls are beyond naive. If they
Sure,
see
and that's
99 other
fine.
girls there,
Okay, cool.
they don't think this is my boyfriend and he loves me.
That's great. And
Okay. He shifts the blame to the women. But he's not taking into account, or he's being purposely ignorant to the account on how the girl got to the compound in the first place. He's literally shifting the blame to the women, not taking into account how they got there in the first place. They got there in the first place because they thought they were in a fucking relationship. Yeah, it's gross. It's very gross, Eva. Very gross.
He's like, now I'm a part of a harem.
there's literally a name for the method. That's why it's called the lover boy method. This is exactly
Yes.
what they do. But if you don't care about sex trafficking, that's fine. And a lot of people
No,
they don't care about sex trafficking, which is cool.
I'm not
but
saying I
like,
don't care about sex trafficking. Would you say that there's the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking, and then there's the Tate thing, and they're not even fucking close?
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
What?
Go,
Why?
state your case.
I don't. What's the definition of sex trafficking? I don't. I just would
Here's
think.
Natalia.
Oh my God. Okay, that's it. She got to go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me as a fully grown ass adult you don't know what sex trafficking is. What? Exactly, Eva. Why compare them? They were two different things. You're right. But how can she... What? Oh my God. Like, she's dumb. She's legitimately dumb. Holy sh... Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, Grayson. Okay, but that's scary to know that she is a woman and doesn't know what sex trafficking is. Period.
Because here's,
Got
I would just,
I got you. I agree, Pearl.
I would just think that it was that you weren't free to go. That's what I thought. I thought it's only sex trafficking if they're underage or they can't leave. That's what I thought.
You said there's three things?
I believe there is. I watched some legal breakdown. There's got to be physical pressure, physical violence, coercion, and one more.
It's force, fraud, and coercion.
Yeah, fraud
Yes.
and coercion. Yeah.
Okay, so your fraud is the taxes. The coercion is how we got them there, and now they're stuck, and how they can't leave. Now they're stuck in the middle of a country that they can't speak the fucking language. 1, 2, 3, sex trafficking. Oh my God, you just gave fucking definitions. 1, 2, 3, sex trafficking, right there. Boom.
So
the
fraud is
the
gonna be
fraud is
stealing the
the taking the
taxes.
money. The coercion we don't really know about because we don't know what the evidence.
Because
the police has.
that's all he said. She said right now.
Right now, but we don't know what evidence the police has.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think the only reasonable position is to be agnostic until you see what develops with the case.
Yeah.
Here's I think the biggest point here. Tate has become famous for talking that on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and what will make you famous will also will fucking put you in jail, and that's the problem that he's having right now. I do this as
Okay, what will make you famous will put that in jail. I mean, if you don't commit tax fraud and, not sex traffic people and, not run around with mobsters and stuff like that. I mean, if you don't do that, then you won't get put in jail. I mean, that was the dumbest statement I have ever heard. Yeah, he wasn't famous for sex trafficking. I mean, what? Rich Lux for the $20. Pay your taxes, people. Damn right, Rich Lux. Thank you for the 20. I appreciate it, sir. I mean, that's like saying every famous person, for what they got famous for, they're going to go to jail. That's so dumb.
This is how I make my money in my back. It's like, yo, this guy's sick. Let me follow this guy. You're going to jail for the exact same reason. That's the problem that he's going to have.
That's not what he's going to jail for.
Yeah, what are you talking?
This is such bullshit.
He said
Thank
He's going
you.
to jail because he's in an Eastern European country that wants to be taken seriously on the world stage, and he's bragging about sex trafficking in the fucking.
Okay, and let's not. Can we not forget why Andrew Tate said he chose Romania to live in? Can we not forget the reason why he chose Romania? He chose Romania because he said that the laws were slacker there. That if a woman wanted to charge you with for sexual harassment or anything there, a man has a better chance to get off. That's why he chose that country. Did we forget that? Did we forget that? That's why he went there in the first place. 1 + 1 = 2, people. I'm telling you. Listen, the Andrew Tate story is literally the story that everybody was trying to tell everybody, but now they're just fucking noticing. We've been saying that he was a menace to women. Nobody wanted to listen. Oh, he's just doing a meme. He's just doing a meme. He's not for real. He's not really like that. He's really helping men, this, that, and the other. You know what that motherfucker did? That motherfucker would literally tell you something true, like men do need mental health. Mental health help, okay? They do. But then he would attach some stupid shit about women being in a kitchen or something. And everybody, the people who listen to him, they want to concentrate on the good he said, but completely bypass the bad shit. Well, the bad shit that he was saying was how he really felt. How he really felt about women as a whole. But nobody wanted to fucking listen to that. Just saying. Just saying. Lord have mercy. I swear to goodness.
Country. That's why he got charged. He's going to
That's
jail.
exactly
Literally my point.
But that's not. But Andrew Tate isn't known for telling young men how to sex traffic. He's known for challenging the matrix and challenging the system.
No,
People are trying to.
that's not true.
He's been
he has a whole
talking
course
about
about that.
yeah.
He might have been talking about it, but that's not why he gained popularity. That's not why people are saying he's being targeted by Romania or the Western
Thank
world.
you.
People are saying, oh, they're targeting because he's telling young men how to
The
break free of the
point
matrix.
he's
and be
making
independent.
is the fact that he's bragged about so much
He's
publicly
said
is
it
what's
so
going
many
to
times.
bug him, and that is what's going to
If you want to know what I think Tate stands for, what I actually think he stands for, it's not. Okay, he talks about the matrix and the system, and he has very loudly talked about how he makes his money and the cam girls, and he talks about whether he's toxic masculinity, what he's labeled as. What I actually think Tate stands for is just male self-improvement. Getting in the gym, being a badass, making money, and if you make the money, you get the women, you get the Bugattis. But he's talking about to become.
See? And that's just what I ranted about. He literally just proved my point. Because he's not saying anything about the toxic shit that Andrew Tate and the tater tots would say. This motherfucker is a tater tot. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what a tater tot looks like, this is a dumb tater tot right here. This is a tater tot.
Becoming a better version of yourself. But nobody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about being a sex trafficker. They want to talk about him doing all the ridiculous things out there. That to me is his message, but it gets masked by all this other nonsense. So here's my next question.
What? The other nonsense that came out of his fucking mouth? The other nonsense that came out of his fucking mouth, and then what they found out that he actually did, because he was telling y'all he was doing it the whole fucking time. But you know what? Men empowerment, we're only gonna spew out that part of it. But y'all don't want to recognize the bullshit that he said. Jesus.
Do. Let's say Tate is innocent. Let's just say Tate is innocent. Go with me here. Who do you think is pulling the strings, trying to get him set up and put in jail? Go with me here. Who do you think is? Do you think it's corporations? Do you think it's governments?
Greta, for sure.
You think it's Greta Thunberg? Do you think it's the World Economic Forum? You think it's the U.S. government? You think it's like? Let's just say Tate's innocent, and he hasn't done any of this. Innocent till proven guilty, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think is saying this fucking Tate guy? We got to bring this motherfucker down.
I don't think there
Who's
needs to
doing
be.
it?
I don't think there needs to be a big conspiracy. I think it can be as simple as either a prosecutor doesn't like him and makes the wrong decision. Sometimes police mess up, or it could be the U.S. Embassy put a little pressure on Romania. That could have also happened. But I don't think there's this big international conspiracy.
So you
going
don't
on.
think it goes to some top
No,
World
I don't.
Economic
No,
Forum?
I don't think so
I don't
either.
believe so.
Charles Schwab.
Chuck Schwab.
I've heard that name so much.
World Economic Forum.
No,
You'll
the
be,
Charles
you'll own
Schwab.
nothing and be happy.
I'm not that deep into the red pill yet. There's like layers, so I'm.
Oh my God. Why is she there? Why is she there? How is she your red pill queen and she doesn't know? I hate her so much. I literally, you know what? I'm going to go find her stuff. And we're going to do a field trip one day in a live stream, and we're going to listen to her. We are going to take a field trip and listen to this woman because I would love to know if she is a red pill queen. How does she not know this? What? Oh my God.
It hit the like they call it the deep state, right? Isn't that the Pizzagate?
Yes.
I don't know.
All right. Well, you're
You
familiar
don't
with
know
this.
anything. Why are you there? You don't know anything. What? Oh God. She's so dumb. Why? Why? Oh dear God. Is that what she is? She's still training? Is that what it is? Holy sh! Oh.
World, go crazy with me. Go conspiracy theory.
If I was going full
Who is
conspiracy,
at the top saying
the
we
top
have
would
to
be
bring this
some
man
Romanian
down?
official who's like, our country is trying to be taken more seriously. Okay, Eastern European countries are
She
like I think
does,
vying
Leon.
for validity from the West, and now we've got a guy that's in our country, you know, flagrantly talking about and bragging about sex trafficking. So we're gonna take this guy down. If I was to entertain a conspiracy, that would be my guess of where it would go.
I would say this is that he talks about corruption, right? And he goes, every country's corrupt. Every country's corrupt. Now, do you want to be in a country like the West? Because Tate talks very badly about United States, the West, UK, London.
You know why he hates westernized countries? Because they have stricter laws on sex trafficking. They have stricter laws of, you know, rape and sexual harassment and, you know, stuff like that. They tend to not like somebody like Tate on a grand scale, especially the grand scale of the business, if you want to call it that business, his pimping. They don't like pimps. That's why he doesn't like westernized countries very much, because he can't get away as long as he has in those countries. That's why he doesn't like westernized countries. 1 + 1 = 2. He fucking told y'all why he went to Romania. And I bet you know that he has said why he went to Romania, but you're not going to say it out of your fucking mouth because you know it makes him look worse. Fucking tater tots, dude. I swear to fucking God.
EU doesn't speak highly above it. That's why he likes more Eastern Europe, Dubai. You know, he's converted to Islam. He talks about the fact that in Romania, he's like, I like the fact that I could just go give a bag of cash and get out of the corruption and just pay it off.
Well, it hasn't worked this time.
That's exactly.
The bags that
And that's a good thing? Wait. So that's a good thing that you can...
And get out of the corruption and just pay me. Dubai, you know, he's converted to Islam. He talks about the fact that in Romania, he's like, I like the fact that I could just go give a bag of cash and get out of the corruption and just...
And that's okay? That's okay? No! That's not okay! That means he's corrupt! So your Lord and Savior is corrupt! Oh my God. I cannot with these people.
Just pay it off.
Well, it hasn't worked this time.
That's exactly.
The bag's not
and
big
that's
enough.
why I think that he talks about the sex trafficking. I think that there's a prosecutor in Romania. Like if you want to go there, there's a prosecutor in Romania or some judge or some, you know, legal aristocrat, whoever, that's like, oh, right? Okay, bro. Well, test me. You're in my country. Let's see if we're that corrupt. And I think there's maybe somebody with a bone to pick. But so maybe it's not the Charles Schwabs of the world and the Greta Thunbergs of the world and the, you know, the Matrix. Maybe it's just some dude in
The
Romania.
reality, too, is that, like, when you talk about corruption, there's going to be different types of corruption, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if I could go to a place like Romania and get, like, a speeding ticket and pay off the cop. Maybe more than I could in the United States. But, like, double homicide? That's probably a different
Yeah.
thing. So the idea that, like,
There's
all
levels to
corruption
this.
is the same and
I
you can
think
pay off
that's-
anybody for anything, probably not true.
I think that's
I've
a
heard
very
that
good example.
If
Yes,
you're in
you're right.
Romania and you are doing anything involved with casinos, you're, what is it, greasing wheels or greasing gears with, like, pretty bad people. Like, that's just, like, a given.
You're affiliated with...
And we know shit happens here in the United States, too. We know shit happens here in the United States. We see shit all the time. But the level of what Andrew Tate was doing would not fly here. He would not have lasted as long as he did there, here. And I honestly believe the U.S. Embassy did get involved because of that one girl. Remember, there was that one girl, she was American. And I believe the U.S. Embassy started digging. And they were like, oh, we found something. I honestly believe it was the U.S. Embassy.
with bad
Yeah,
people, yes.
absolutely. That has to be the case.
Yes.
But I don't think that means you can get away with, like, blatantly sex trafficking or, like, raping or killing or, like, doing crazy shit
Especially
like
if you're not a high-profile figure. If
Sure.
you are a high-profile figure.
Huh. All right, so give me your prediction. What's going to happen to Tate in 30 days? Prediction.
Me first?
Yeah.
I like to wait till the facts of the case are out. It could go either way. It could be that
It
a
could.
couple
Diplomatic
women,
of you.
Well, because it could be that a couple women gave testimony. They
Yeah.
can't validate it anywhere else. They've got maybe a couple whatever text messages and that's it. And then nothing comes of it. It could be that he didn't do anything actually that wrong. Maybe they
Yeah.
did all freely choose to go there. They thought they could make some money. They weren't happy with the money they made, and now they came back and they're trying to burn him. It could be that he actually did engage in a whole bunch of, and we're going to see way more release from the Romanian authorities. But it could be anything.
How about this? I'm going to re-ask the question because
Oh,
forget
okay.
about predictions. Who knows what's going to happen because it's very easy to say, let's just wait for the case comes out. How about this? Let's just keep it simple. Do you think that Tate, who has taken the internet by storm over the last 6-12 months, do you think he's a net negative or a net positive for society and specifically young men? What do you think?
Net negative. Net negative. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I think he's a net negative. Money doesn't make you a man. Money, power, Bugattis, that doesn't make you a man. Some of the best men I have ever seen in my life and been around have been poor or have been working class. That they got up and worked their ass off every day and they were men. Money and power doesn't make you a man. You could still be a and have money and power. Just because you got that power, that don't make you a man. You could still be a bitch. And I think Andrew Tate is a I really do.
Alex.
I would say net positive overall.
Net positive.
Yeah.
Why?
There's some things he says that are a little cringe that I disagree with, but overall about like making men more masculine, taking accountability, working out, getting your finances in order, those are all good messages.
Fully agree.
And you know what? People, oh my God. It's amazing to me that yeah, he does preach that stuff, but it's the bullshit that he preached on top of that. Oh my God, these people are so deaf. They're deaf. They're deaf.
How about you, Pearl? You've interviewed him. You sat with him. You're the last one of us to actually see him in the flesh. Net negative or net positive for society?
I would say net positive. I think most of his message is about self-improvement.
I agree.
So yeah, I would say net positive.
But it's easy to call him a chauvinist and a misogynist, but that's a...
So you like your man to own you, huh? Are you one of them? You like your man to own you? You like to be the property of your man? Because you know he preaches that too, right? I mean, if that's your thing, then okay, girl, I get you, but you like being somebody's property? Like the You want to be somebody's dog? You want to be somebody's property? Okay, girl, I get you.
The negative thing these days is telling men to improve. How about you? Back to you. Do you think he's a net...
What do you think?
Net negative or net
I
positive?
say net negative. Do we need another guide here saying go to the gym, get your finances in order, like be a man? I don't know how much like uniqueness he's offering there that's valid.
You have to admit that he's very unique, bro.
Is he really? I mean, like he is in like the hyper consumerist, like look at all my cars sense. But like I don't know.
I think that's bull.
He's not. He's not unique. You know why? Because his misogyny is old school misogyny. It's the same shit that we've been hearing since men and women have been there, okay? It's old school misogyny, and you add Bugattis and being rich on top of it. That's all it is. It's the same old rich guy toxic bullshit. His misogyny is not new. His misogyny is the same fucking misogyny that we have seen for millennia, okay? He is not fucking unique.
I think if he was just...
You can't
I
argue.
think if he was
Impacted-
Ubering everywhere, the
he's
message would be
impacted
just as
more people
powerful.
probably in 6 months than most people have in their entire
I think
career.
you're doing it.
How are you gonna come up with a statistic like that and you didn't even know who Swab was? Really? What? You didn't know anything else. You didn't know anything else. You were like sitting there twirling your fucking hair going, I don't know this. Oh, what is the definition of sex trafficking? But now all of a sudden he did more for men in 6 months. You know that statistic though, right? Shut up.
People that were never involved in
What, you said he's
self-improvement.
unique. Give me some unique messages from Tate.
Well, no,
It doesn't have to be a unique message. It's about the impact.
Yeah.
And you can't. I
can't
interview
deny the
people on the
impact. Fully
street
agree.
all the time, like young kids, and they're like the biggest Tate fans. Like I have never seen anyone with that much of a reach. Like,
yeah, but I
it's
mean, I don't know. If my 11-year-old son was a huge Tate fan, that would very scare me.
All right, well, then let me flip it on you.
Yeah.
Who do you want your 11-year-old son to admire, and you can't say a video gamer?
I can't say a video game.
Can't say it. Who do you want your 11-year-old? This goes back to the young destiny of who he was going to look up to. If it's not someone like Tate, who do you want your 11-year-old son looking up to?
You know who he should look up to? He should look up to his father. That's who he should be looking up to. He should be able to look up to his father because that is his dad. And that is the man in his life. That's who he should be looking up to. It doesn't have to be somebody famous. Any positive male figure in his life is who he should be looking up to. It doesn't matter if they're famous or not. It doesn't matter if they're rich or not. Any positive male role model in their life is who they should be looking up to. The fuck out of here.
Up to these days?
Damn, I would say that probably it would be relevant to whatever career he wanted to go into.
He's 11 years old. He gives a about
well,
career.
yeah, so right now
Who
he
do
looks
you-
up to like movie characters. He likes Spider-Man like that. So I think like Marvel superheroes are probably okay for kids.
All right, that's fair. So a lot
not
of young kids would say that he's the closest thing to that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Kickboxing, badass, smart, good with women, driving Bugattis, living in mansions, smoking cigars, will fuck you up and fuck your girl. Kind of a bad.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I bet you if Andrew Tate didn't have that money, didn't have those Bugattis, how he says it, Bugattis, I bet you he would be really bad with women. I bet you if this, some kind of divine intervention happens and he lost everything and he's broke, all right? Now he's an average Joe. I bet you he would be bad with women because he has to flex his money the way he flexes it. I bet you.
Yeah, but like 5 out of 9 of those things, like I don't want my kid fantasizing about Bugattis, mansions, people that girls. Or
Yeah, Bugatti is just a means to an end. It means you've made money, and so you have a Bugatti. Listen, I have enough money to buy a nice supercar. I'd rather just keep my money in the bank because I'd like Ubering everywhere. It's just a sign of wealth. It's not like
I don't believe
to me
that.
it's a little
No.
excessive to have. I've got 19 supercars. It's like you only really need one.
You can't when you
Okay.
make that the focal point so often. I
I
don't think you can
agree.
retreat behind the like, oh no, well I'm just saying this will happen as a result of your wealth.
I
This
agree.
is like the goal for a lot of
I
people.
agree, but I think a lot of it is
Exactly.
that's his caricature. Right? It wouldn't be surprising
Well,
me
and it gives
if he
young
didn't.
men something to strive for. I
Yeah,
don't think
strive for
why
Bugattis?
is it wrong? Okay, I grew up in the most. The comments will always say like these are the cheapest rich people I've ever seen. Like y'all rich, but you look broke. And the comment section, my family. Like so I'm
Us?
I grew up around frugal rich people. Like
Yes.
I understand the concept, but it's just like why is it bad for men to want to strive to have 20 supercars?
Because putting you in a
Okay, I understand her a lot more now. I just want to say, I understand her a lot more now.
mindset where you think that material things are going to improve your life like spiritually or improve your life in like a holistic like psychological sense it's a path that I've watched so many people go down before. You spent the first time of this
It's
program.
not to say that's the only thing, but
No, it is.
can't you
Yeah.
acknowledge that there is some benefit in striving to make a lot of money?
No, never.
Yes.
I don't
No,
think
no,
if
no,
you're
no.
selling to
Really?
a young man ever, it would never be like, if you do this, you can have a supercar. That would never be part of your talking points.
I act like you're
I
talking
just
to
feel
someone
like
that
this is
had
nitpicking.
hold
Like,
on.
this is nitpicking.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yes.
this is like half of the videos that circulate with him
Oh
on the
no,
internet.
he
Is
has
like,
too much. He has
look at
too
my
much stuff that he talks
For some
about.
reason, I'm like obsessed with this straw man argument thing because you've used it a few times.
straw man? This is literally
Hear
what
me
he talks
out,
about.
bro.
I'm hearing you. Go.
You only can talk at one time.
Okay.
You're talking to somebody that doesn't have a car
Okay.
because he doesn't want to fucking drive, and I like being Ubered around. But I could buy a Maserati for $100 grand, no problem. But I prefer not to. So for me to defend Tate, just understand the fact that I'm not a car guy. The message is not about the Bugatti. The Bugatti is the reward after doing everything he talks about
Oh
in his
my
message. Becoming better,
God.
faster, stronger, cooler, wealthier, sexier, healthier, all that. Then you can get the Bugatti. But don't get lost in the sauce. That
This dude is a nerd with money. That's all he is. That's all he is.
is the message. And once you make the money and get the fame and get the success, if you want to go buy a fucking what color is your Bugatti, go for it. Or buy 19. But to say, oh, Tate, he's got a bad message because of the Bugatti, that's the carrot
That's
at
not
the
what
end,
he
like
was
to like
saying.
motivate you. But that's not the reason that you're in the gym every day. That's not the reason that you're working off. That's not the reason that you're trying to improve. It's like that's why I was saying it's like a straw man argument that it's all about material. It's not. That's like the payoff at the end. But like the the essence of what he's doing is male self-improvement. And I think you would agree with that, no?
That's the biggest cope I've ever heard in my life.
Cope?
Yeah.
Thank
There's
you.
so much cope.
Thank
Cope
you,
of what?
Destiny.
Where are
Thank
the videos
you.
showing that, like, if you live like a fulfilling life, this is what awaits you at the end? Maybe it's a happy marriage. Maybe it's like good friendships. Like maybe it's like a family that you love and care for. Maybe it's like participation in your community.
Yeah, but if you're talking to an 18-year-old kid, what's
don't care
your
about
family?
that.
What are you talking about? They want to
That's
fucking
fine.
get laid and
That's
get
okay.
paid.
Sure,
That's
that's
it.
fine.
You sound
But
like a girl.
If get laid
He
and get
sounds like a
paid-
girl?
That's like what girl.
Wait, what? Did she really look at him and say you sound like a girl? No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Isn't that kind of pushing being toxic though? Trying to tell like an 18-year-old, like, what's wrong with an 18-year-old man? You know, because they're technically a man at that point. What's wrong with an 18-year-old man having dreams of having a family or having a good life or being able to do, you know, the job they want to do? Just what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a man wanting that? That makes no sense.
a family that you love and care for. Maybe it's like participation in your community.
Yeah, but if you're
Yeah.
talking to an 18-year-old kid, what do you,
don't
what's your
care about
family?
that.
What are you
But
talking
not
about?
all
They want to fucking
18-year-old
get laid and
boys
get
are
paid.
like that. Not all 18-year-old boys are like that. That's like, no.
Hey,
Sure, that's
it.
fine.
You sound
If
like a
get laid-
girl.
If get laid,
He
and get
sounds like a
paid-
girl?
That's like what girls say.
If-
Are you calling Destiny a girl?
These are the Christian conservative values that you guys hide behind when you want clicks, but none of you actually give a f about. Okay, this is what it's.
You sound like a girl. You sound like a dumb ditz. Okay? You sound like a dumb broad. That's what you sound like. When these men run around here and calling women dumb broads, you are one of them. Ma'am. Okay? You a dumb broad. You a dumb...
Actually, this is what they actually talk about.
Christian,
If you've ever been
when
in a
have you
church your
ever
entire
heard me
life,
talk about
okay?
Jesus? I
When I
don't
say
even
you
talk-
guys, I mean red pill in general. We're all
What
doing
are
this
you-
Christian
I'm
style.
not a red pill guy. I
talking
interview a lot
about?
of red pill.
You're talking about fulfillment, self-improvement, all these things, okay?
I've never even talked about religion.
If you're trying to sell somebody a car at 18, and that's where the focal point is, 19, 20, 21, do you think that magically at 25 they're gonna be like, oh shit, I've had my eyes on the car the whole time, but like, man, I've got like a lot more fulfillment in my life now. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
dude.
gonna happen.
I used to want to f a million girls, now I have a girlfriend. Like, yeah, of course. Your attitudes change as you get older. He's preaching
Yeah.
traditional masculinity, which is attractive to a lot of men. It's like the James Bond type of fantasy.
There we go. Traditional masculinity. I hate that term. They complain about the term toxic masculinity, which again, I will say, it gets overly used. It does get overly used. It's like some women or some people like to push that term when a man is just trying to say how he feels about a situation. They're automatically toxic. That's automatically toxic masculinity, okay? So it does get overused, I agree. But traditional masculinity, that's a term that they overuse. Oh my God. This is amazing. This is really amazing.
It's like, yeah, good with girls, good at fighting, have a nice car. But yeah, you get to some point where you experience that and it gets old. And maybe you do settle down. Or maybe you don't.
I've just
But what
I've
you're
had it in
saying
my
is not gonna
family. I've
sound
seen it
sexy to
personally. There
anyone.
are so many people that fall down the consumerist hole. I've seen it happen time and time.
Yeah,
in
that
my
would be
own
like my
family.
one criticism of
But if
Andrew
you-
Tate too.
Well, but that is like his major fucking
I don't
selling
think
point. And that's
so.
what Adam is defending. Yeah, it's like, look at the cars. Like, the car's the prize.
No,
but eventually,
don't think-
you'll get the cars as a result of
Destiny,
all those
that's
other
why
things.
I said that I'm not a car guy, so I can't be defending
Yeah,
getting a
because
car.
you're trying to put yourself on
Because-
trial to defend his person. But I'm not attacking
No,
you.
but what I'm saying is, it's easy. This is what I was saying with the
Thank you,
straw man. It's
Adrian.
easy to take his message and be like, he's just all about materialism and Bugattis, when that's not the message. It's work harder, get better, and once you do all that and increase your status, then you can get the car. You're focusing on all he talks about is getting a car.
Have you ever watched like his full War Room streams?
War Room streams, no, but I've seen like some of his long form content.
Okay, so but you've never watched like a full War
War
Room
Room stream, no.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Wait, so is that the only thing she knows about is... Oh my God. We're going to watch her. We're going to find her and we're going to watch her. And we're going to watch that interview.